All right, welcome to our next edition of Ragic Office Hour. So let's get started. Okay, we have about 5 questions today. This should be relatively quick. Okay, first question. Can I use tabs in context of customers additionally to the folder meaning? Okay. I'm going to serve 3 to 10 customers of mine in the future. For each customer, I will create and serve a data project, one for each customer. Can I create one tab per customer to separate their sheets and projects from each other? Okay, well, of course, you can do this. We have seen users do this in the past, so that, sometimes people use a folder for each customer. Sometimes people use a sheet for each customer. But generally, as a best practice, you should have one sheet for all customers. It's a standard. It's a more standard way to. It's a more standard way to organize your data, because to make it scale more easily, unless you're really sure that you're never going to have like more than 100 customers, then you could probably get away with this. But if you have more customers, it's going to be a lot harder to manage. And if you have, like, for example, if you have 10 customers and you have them in 10 different tabs and with their own individual sheets, if you want to make some change to one of the sheets, you have to make 10 changes to each of the sheets on the 10 different tabs. So doing this is, I suppose it works, but there's just a lot of inconvenience in this, so that when you make any changes, you need to make it 10 times. So generally, it's better to create all customers on one sheet and manage them with one single sheet, and one sheet for customer order. Generally, try not to duplicate the sheets unless it's absolutely necessary. But we have seen people do this for certain reasons, and yeah, it's doable. Just you have to keep in mind what are the side effects or the maintenance costs of having these duplicated versions of these sheets. Okay, do I need to purchase and create a new user account if I have more customers to serve? Well, in your case, you're creating one tab for customer. So no, because they're still in the same account. So you don't need to create new users when you're serving new customers, unless you're adding your customers to the system as internal users. But usually you only need to add your customers as external users, and external users are free. So yeah, generally, no, you don't need to purchase and create new users if you have more customers to serve. If you're creating all those new sheets for new customers on different sheets and tabs. And if you keep all your customers on one single sheet, which is the way I recommend, and you also don't need to purchase any additional users for your customers. All right, let me zoom in to make it easier to read. Is the access right and security I'm going to apply on the sheet level or on the tab level? Access right and security settings, they are always applied on the sheet level. So you'll need to apply those configurations on each individual sheet, which is, like I mentioned, one of the inconvenience of having one sheet per customer, because you'll need to make as many changes as many sheets you have. So yes, you'll need to apply all those access right settings to each sheet, and we don't really have a way to apply access right setting to sheets on a whole tab, because usually in most cases, different sheets on the same tab, they will have different access right settings. All right, I hope this answers your questions. And And having different customers on different sheets is doable, but not recommended because it will be hard to maintain. When you make changes to your sheets, you will have many duplicated changes for each customer. Okay? And no, you don't need to purchase additional users for additional tabs and sheets or records. And the last one, SS right setting is always applied to sheets, not tabs. Okay? All right, next question. Is it possible to do a soundex search on the field? I have a list of surnames and sometimes they have variant spellings, e.g. Smith. Some surnames have variant spellings, Smith, Smith, Smith. All right, I'd like to do a soundex search. So when I type in for Smith in that field, it puts all the variant spellings also. Right now, I don't think we have soundex search, but we do have fuzzy search. Let's Google Ragic fuzzy search. I'm not sure if a fuzzy search would be sufficient as a soundex search, but we do have fuzzy search. If you go have like a tilde character at the end, so proximity search, range searches. Okay, well, I would say that you could try these kind of searches and see if it helps. And yeah, let me try this. Smith, of course, you have this question. So, but if I type how do you spell that? SMYTH. YTH. Oh, I still have that. How about this? Yeah, it kind of works. Yeah, if you have a proximity search, you could do something like this. Like this, maybe. Yeah, we still have this. So yes, you could use the fuzzy search, symbol to search for, words that have a similar spelling. Okay, and here's a document for this. It's not exactly based on sound, but it gives you similar spelling. So I think in most cases it should work. Make it a bit clearer. So you have to include this symbol. Oh, okay. Insert this one. All right, next question. Oops. Can you show how to connect an external reporting system with data from Ragic sheet or more than one sheet. Okay. Well, I don't really have an external reporting system right now, but I can basically show you how to do that. Generally, when you want to connect to an external reporting system, you use a publish to the web as the data source. So let me call up our document. So we have our publish to the web data feed. Okay, so you could do a publish to the web to get a URL for your sheet, to have a data feed as the data source for your sheet, and you feed it to the external reporting software, and it will use that Excel or CSV feed as the data source to generate these reports. Generally, it's fairly straightforward, and let me grab the URL first, and let's see if I could do something with this. So let's say I'm doing a publish to the web here. So the sheet is in public. Oh, this is an internal copy. So let's go to the public copy. Okay, so this is the public copy, and I publish to the web. When I choose publish to the web, it will have these CSV feed or Excel feed URLs. So if I copy this Excel URL and I open an incognito mode, like an external application, it's gonna download all these data. Oops. All these data there, and oops. So all the data will be in this Excel data feed. Okay, and the external reporting software will be able to use this data to analyze your to generate the report that you need. All right. Okay, so basically you could use this as a data source. So if you Google anything like for example, like Power BI, CSV data source, and they're gonna tell you how to do this with Power BI to connect to a external data source with CSV. Okay, so most reporting tools, they should be able to use either the CSV feed or Excel feed as the data source. Okay. Yeah, next time maybe I'll have a Power BI or a Tableau or some external reporting service ready, so to give you a more detailed demo if you need. Yeah, I just don't have the software on my computer yet. But I've tried it on other laptops, and it's fairly straightforward. All right. Is it possible to create a cash flow solution like a spreadsheet? Well, it's definitely possible to create a cash flow solution, but without a more detailed requirement, it's hard to say what kind of cash flow solution that you're building. But generally, yeah, we've seen people build cash flow solutions on Ragic, and yeah, I think it works. And sometimes for like balances, you might need to use the update value on another sheet. Some features like this, I would imagine you need to have some use a feature to update values on this sheet or other related sheets. So yeah, I think you can do that, but I'll need more detailed requirements to have a more detailed answer for this. Cash flow management, cash flow solutions. Ragic. Yeah, so I would say you could look into some of the features that are more related to, interaction between two sheets. So probably convert record, update values, and update value on another sheet. So probably convert records, update values, and update value another sheet. Oh, this is probably the first one you should look at. Yeah, I would imagine that when you're doing those cash flow transactions, you'll need to update some kind of account balance. So update value on the sheet would be certainly helpful in this kind of solution. Okay, use of colors in report. It would be great if when creating reports of any kind to be able to use colors for text and lines and boxes. I know you can export into reports into Excel, but it's time consuming. Every time you make changes to report your detail, you have to do it again. Okay, understand? I do not understand why this cannot be done. In the forms, you can use colors for text and boxes, and why not in forms? You mean reports? It would make reading of forms so much easier in the current black and white. Okay, reports of any kind. I suppose you're referring to these reports? Colors of text. To be able to use the colors of text and line boxes. Report details. I'm a little bit confused about this question. I think he's referring to these reports and yeah, if for these reports, most of them we try to make them look nice. By default, you don't have to do any coloring there. But yeah, right now you're not really able to do a lot of coloring on these reports. But I would imagine that not all of these reports you would like to customize their looks and colors. And yeah, if it's really helpful for you to make color changes to these reports, you're free to tell us what kind of color changes that you would like to apply to which specific report. So I would invite you to kind of let us know which report that you're currently using and where would you like to customize the styles and colors. And that would be helpful for our development team because each individual reports they are created individually. So if you want to apply these styling changes, we have to develop them by report. So we'll need to know which report you're referring to. On the reports. Yeah, it's definitely possible. Just we need to look at how hard it is, how much work is there to be done to add these kind of supports, and how much requirement, how much demand is there for these kind of customization. Yeah, for the processing. All right, next question. Does Ragic have some real I guess real estate templates? Okay. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think we have them right now. Business applications. We have template for HVAC. Suite, P, PSI. Yeah, currently no. But if you're interested in developing this kind of template with us, feel free to let us know. But right now, we don't have this template. And usually, if we have some people who have the domain know-how of this area that we can work with, we're usually happy to work with people as a domain experts to create templates for our application library. All right. Okay. I think that's it for the questions today. And all right. So if you have any other questions, feel free to use the office hour questions sheet to ask your questions, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And meanwhile, if you have some more urgent questions, you can always still use the need help link at the top right for our support staff to look into. And I'll talk to you guys in 2 weeks. Goodbye.